Well, first, thank you and Million Cups for the opportunity to speak before you. I do have to say, I knew I didn't want to go after Steve. That's like the backup band going last, you know? But nevertheless, you're going to have to sit through it and bear with us. All right. Our vision. Life is precious and unfortunately too short. We believe we can help people to live it to the fullest, both quantitatively and qualitatively. A few of the problems we solve are finding things to do or places to go that are community or school related, along with typical social and business ones, and being able to invite your friends to join you in one click, and also capturing and sharing event pictures automatically. In summation, our competitors, using our competitors to tell our story, we've come up with the following analogy. Evite meets Yelp and Eventful and introduces them to Friend Finder and Photo Capture. Next. Deciding what to do? Search or create your own plans. Quick or formal invitations with RSP functionality and messaging for edits and cancellations. Locate your friends at large venues or track them until they safely arrive at your private event. Set reminders to take pictures. Finally, all invitees may share their photos or videos automatically. That's Occasional Riot in a nutshell. Talking about elevator speeches, we're basically a single-purpose platform rather than disparate single-function apps to search, invite, and capture life events. Of all the points shown, comprehensive, high-quality solutions are the next generation of apps. Our users, typically between 18 and 45, distributed evenly between male and female, income 25 to 150,000 per year, some college, politics lean Democratic, and those most likely to use the app are in order: Asian, then Hispanic, and then others. These demographics do not include markets dealing with invitation, follow me, or photo functions. And this slide relates to Yelp and Foursquare and does not include other revenue streams, which increases our market potential to over $4 billion. We're aware of the macro trends evolving right now and can take advantage of most of them, as noted. These are a few of our competitors. Their names alone prove a large market potential. None combine all the features that Occasional Riot does. And a taste for a product. Now we need the video.
This won't be held against you.
The Occasional Riot homepage allows the user to select from one of 4 interest sets, either a venue or event, and on average from one of 30 categories. Once selected, a map, list, or calendar view provides information based on preference settings. The heart of the selection process occurs at the individual event or venue page. Like or favorite, comment and share, ratings by both the public and friends, special features, opinions, tickets and reservations, images, linked events, and which friends are attending. All provide the user choice data. Now invite your friends, quickly or formally. Select who you want to invite. Determine if you want to capture photos during the event and if you want your friends to find you there. Link, sequence, and send. See who RSVP'd to your invitation or to whom you RSVP'd. Visit the Occasional Riot user website to view your photos and videos by event. And 24 hours later, after editing, see all your friends' pictures who attended. Now that's a little presentation that we did as a demo, and mainly planning to look for different accelerators and that sort of thing. Next.
This is Don at Haggerty's Music Works. Today we're going to check out the Sir Riot pedal. This is a distortion pedal that has an amazingly natural tone. It can take you anywhere from a smooth, sweet overdrive to an all-out gnarly shred. Let's give it a listen. One of the cool things about the Sir Riot pedal is it has...
There we go.
Our basic business model is designed to produce a net profit for one region, then reinvest to develop another. To achieve the goal, we will require an A-round investment. Should our investors wish to scale rapidly, as have others, the pay-as-you-go model will morph into a spend heavily on user and customer acquisition so that we can position the company for sale or IPO. And it's a typical SV strategy. Our founding team. Our team combines talents found in serial entrepreneurs, the formally educated, those with years of experience, and the artistically inclined. After 2 years of development, we are poised for beta testing in 3 months. To launch, we must produce 45 how-to videos. They'll be generally iOS simulations, and populate the app with all U.S. establishment data. Using various pre-revenue valuation models, we have surmised that our app will value around $1.9 million once development is completed. Our goal is to achieve investor return expectations based on the displayed chart. Highlighted is our next investment goal, $230,000. A 5x revenue sale event, each investor round ROI is shown on the yellow highlighted line in millions of dollars. Thanks for your time. If you wish to review the deck later, you may do so by picking up our business card, scanning the QR code on the back of it, and that'll open the YouTube account that has other videos there as well. That's it.
Questions? Let's start with your questions, everyone.
You know I'm going to ask, how did you come up with the name? I love it. It's great. And I
Occasional
love the
Riot.
logo, too.
Listen, I did. A young fellow named Kevin Daisy, which a number of you might know, he owns ID Web Studios that does websites. He's the one that was the original, and he actually is one of our founders as well and has some interest in the company. But he would, and we were hoping originally that he would develop it, but he actually had to make a living. So, after 2 years of development, I can fully understand, and that's with 6 developers. So, it's been an expensive proposition. Yes.
So, your app idea combines functionalities and different modes of all the other apps. But now, what I've seen, apps that take off the fastest and take off the best are actually single function apps. How is yours still going to kind of grab that traction in that user base because of that social effect?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Those are called MVPs, minimum viable products, and it's a typical Silicon Valley trend. Throw it up there, see if it sticks. And they are single function, but I think the trend is going to be away from that. And Peter Thiel even thinks that too. A big investor. And if you look at a number of different kind of systems out there, they all eventually morph and change into more complicated systems, and people start buying subsystems and then subsystems of subsystems, so that you don't have to do everything. You don't have to have a full engineering staff to create, say, in a manufacturing process, a gas train. And then later on, you don't need to buy, to build your own finishing system. You can actually buy somebody that will build it and create it. And eventually, there's also people that just manufacture everything for you. So the trend in any kind of business is, as it becomes more and more complicated, is to segment it out and that sort of thing. So that's what we're doing. We're just putting a bunch of pieces together. Now, there are some unique things about it that are not being done. The photo capture is the main one, and you can't do that without all the other parts. We could have gone and said, okay, we got one cute little bit that's augmented reality messaging. Now that's great. We probably could go out there and start a business on that. That's a single function thing. But how do you make money off of it? We weren't going to do an app at all unless we could monetize it. And WhatsApp and all those kind of people don't have any way to monetize yet. And selling little cutesy emojis and that sort of thing is not the way to do it. Yelp actually had the idea. You have business people that pay for advertising, and we do it. So we need that side of it to do it. We need that data to be able to do one click, transfer all of the information to an invitation, and then we need to RSVP to those invitations, and those people that are coming to an event, your friends that you invite, are all the pictures that get uploaded and shared automatically onto the website.
Question, I think, Bill?
The name is confusing to me.
Mhm.
I don't know if that really says what you want to accomplish. And I'm trying to figure out, what is that little black thing on top of the wheel? Is that a person?
Hair's
Head on fire.
Yeah, it's like the old timey bite,
Right.
like with
Penny
Big Giant.
I don't know, for some unknown reason, the name just doesn't grab me.
All right.
Maybe it's because I'm an old guy, I don't know. But
Well, you're not old enough, that's the reason. And the thing is it all goes back to, and the theme and the design and everything else was built around, say, 1776 to around 1820. And what you see is that kind of thing. And they actually used the term back then, riot, to talk about events. And one of the big scenes that we use is a riot in Philadelphia. And you're right, it means absolutely nothing. It doesn't tell it. It's not one of those kind of things that do, but it can be very catchy too. So it has its pros and cons.
So the branding is steampunk, kind of, right?
Yes,
And
right.
Riot,
Mhm.
in that sense, wasn't a bad thing. It was, let's all get together.
Right, exactly.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay, being an older guy myself, you're not the typical demographic for this type of a product. So, as the front-end spokesperson for this product, how are you going to sell it to kind of your key demographic and trying to get them to pick up on the product?
That's really a nice way to put me being old and trying to sell it.
Granddaughter, so.
Thank you very much. You know, and you're absolutely correct. We know that. We have other partners. My son is one. He is the 35-year-old. Stand up here. He's the one that should be presenting, but he lives in Bangkok, Thailand.
Okay.
We have another team member that's young. He's 29 years old, which is our chief technology officer. That's a full, full stack developer. Is very helpful on everything. And those are the people that are going to have to be out front. But you don't get to have that today. You know. And yes, we are going to have to put somebody else in front of this thing.
Back to the name, have you done anything in terms of market research on that name to understand the impact that it might have on that demographic that you're trying to reach? You might
Other
want to do
than
that.
asking friends and other people when they are introduced to it, and the young people say, hey, that's cool.
Well, I like it, but I'm of the demographic of the gray-haired guys in here. So.
I got the name right away.
Yeah.
I knew exactly once you started talking about inviting people to events and things of that nature that you're creating your occasional riot, and people say, "Hell, that's a riot." To me, I got it, and I like it.
And your tagline's good too.
Well, I mean, if we're just going to be ageist here, let's just ask that group up there. I mean, what do you?
Being ageist, I'm just. Come on now.
It's kind of strange. A couple double nickel
It's important in the marketing of the product. That's why we're talking about
It is. It's a big thing.
Okay, and I'll use it because it's steampunk.
Social media users and social site users tend to be fickle, and they shift from one to another without a whole lot of loyalty, I guess. How do you combat that? And to the name point, it's a cool name, it's interesting, but a lot of those names are kind of like one-word things, and I think kind of key to branding. I'm a branding guy, which seems to me like the Kleenex, the Xerox, the one-word quick things. Hey, hit me up on Riot, or I don't know, it just might be easier. So.
And we do. We shorten it to O-Riot. We use the terms interchangeable. Occasional riot, O-Riot, that sort of thing. And you're right. They are very fickle, and that's why they come and go. Like MySpace gave way to Facebook, and we're hoping Yelp gives way to us. But Yelp is not really a social site. A little bit they try to do it with their things, but they're utilitarian, and we think that we have a more lasting product in the sense that we are very utilitarian. The videos that we're going to do are going to be very, very important to show people and give them ideas what they can do with things. To give you an example, you can do private events, you can do bar crawls, which it'll pop up on the map. You start here, then go there, then there, like that, with little lines drawn to them on the map. The big thing about taking pictures, inviting your friends, and moving Evite into it, our probably biggest indirect competitor is Facebook. But a lot of people not using them. We're single purpose. We're not like Facebook, which is all things to all people. And we're not social in that kind of an idea. But you can create your own private, say you wanted to have a camping trip and you want to invite your friends, well, you can do that. They can RSVP back to you. You got to change something, the times and things, you automatically type in something and it sends it to everybody that said yes or maybe to come to your trip. It doesn't say go to the no people. The one thing you always miss is sharing photos, and I think that's the best part of it. So if you come to an event, your friends that are taking pictures with their phone and everything else, they're automatically shared. They can, you're going to say, well, what if they don't want to? They don't have to. There's a little button that says share or not share. So you say photo sharing, and then you turn on and off whether you want to share. Follow me. The follow me function, and nobody's doing this, is geared just to the time of the event. So if the event starts at this time and ends at that time, all the photos captured during that gets put into an album with those photos alone. And everybody's individual pictures are in folders under that album. So it's the utilitarian nature of it that I think will allow us to last.
I'm going to jump in with the question if I could, Steve. Yeah. So I'm starting to be a believer of, you know, there's missing pieces and all the pieces aren't put together in the right order, and there's things that should be obvious that are hard. Could you elaborate on what you're going to do in your business plan from your launch to get people into using your program? How are you going to get it out there? What kind of resources? How far away are you from launching? I know you talked about this. Can you just elaborate on that?
Right. We're 3 months from having a finished product, and it's being tested along the way. One of your questions is going to be what I do on my daily, and that is test, 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 test. It is a very complicated application. Just think of all the moving parts that have to fit together and work. That would lend itself to another question. Well, how user-friendly is it? It is very user-friendly. It leads you, just follow the dotted line, it'll take you there. The back end is very complicated though, and that's what we have to get extremely solid. Did I answer your question?
Well, I want to know how you're going to get a lot of people into it.
Oh, how are we going to market it?
Yeah, the key to, if it's a social application and it's got to be downloaded in millions of apps, how are we going to become aware of it? How are we going to get a lot of people into it?
Well, we've done some research. That's our weakest point, is marketing. Yeah, and we're going to have to get with people that have done it and team up with people that are probably in San Francisco. We'll probably have to get investment from San Francisco. If this thing's to scale and when people really want to make money, the SV guys, it's going to take $43 million. But that's over a 5-year period, and we have the tranches that it's going to take, and we'll just have to see whether it's going to go. Right now we've been investing everything ourselves in it. And you're right, you can only do the typical things for marketing, and you can figure out what your first 10 days are going to be. You know, you've got to do this. You're going to buy users at some point or another. You're going to advertise. Facebook looks like the best one. We know it's going to cost us anywhere from 20 cents to $2 to buy a user. The quality of user is different as to how much you pay for it. You'll have to actually scale that as to when you think you're going to get revenue. I don't think we'll turn revenue for. If we do it on a regional basis, maybe we can turn revenue in 8 months. Turning profit or positive at least, cash flow positive, probably would take 1.5 years. Most of these companies like Yelp just turned profit recently. That was 10 years. Foursquare just turned profit, and that took them 5 years. Now notice Yelp started, and they invested $56 million into Yelp. Foursquare had investments of $165 million. Foursquare was sold recently to Yahoo. Most of these guys have been acquired or have gone out of business. Yelp has a market cap of about $4.4 billion. Foursquare had $650 million. And look, honestly, we're hoping to sell out long before we get to that. We're hoping we upset one of these guys and he just wants to put us out of business. And for the right amount of money, we're happy to do so.
All right, what I was looking for, you've answered it, is that I was saying I needed something to grab onto. You do a good presentation. I need something. I didn't have that market. I didn't have the marketing piece to tell me what the heck this is. But when you described an event with people sharing, then I began to go, okay, I can understand you. I can understand this app a little bit better, maybe because I'm old. Potential, it could be is what your marketing thing is you take a concert here at one of the concerts coming up, puts about 5 or 10 people loose in it with the app live, and have them do an event, and then build a whole video off of them sharing and the after product, because that video would grab them. Because right now it did not. Again, I couldn't get it.
That's why we have a list of all the videos we're going to have to do. We've segmented into pieces of the app, and we have about 45 videos that are going to have to be done. They're not as one's going to have to be really good, and we'll hire somebody to do that. The rest of them can be iOS simulations, basically.
I would venture to guess turn people loose on it.
Show
Just
them how
do
to,
it.
for instance, delayed messaging, another part of the app. All right, and that's not just because we have a messaging system. Why do we have a messaging system in it? Because I invited you to an event. You said you wanted to come to it, yet I got to cancel. And I can't be calling 6 people to do that. And some of them, I can, but quickly I can just go cancel, boom, it's out, and it goes immediately to those kind of guys. And I've lost the train of thought where I was going with that.
Well, what I like about it is.
Well, that's the age thing. You see, that's why we need some young person up here. So if anybody's interested in being CEO, look, we got room.
Well, what I like
Steve
is all the
walked in. He's
friends
a good
I don't really
presenter.
like, I'll know where they are and I won't have to go there. Why iOS only?
Oh, it's not only, that's the first phase that we have to do. And there's all kinds of reasons for doing iOS, and I can go through them. They're out there. I mean, do you want me to go through them? Easier to develop. You don't have as many screens that you have to develop to. It goes on and on and on.
As an Apple fan, it's just better.
Well, as an Apple fan too. Yes. I have an iPhone, so I can actually test it on it.
That's right.
We'll come back and develop the Android.
Yeah, we have, and here's the thing, to stay on top of the competition, you're going to have plans to improve it. It can't end right here. This is only the beginning of a platform that can do many, many other things as well. And we have 4 years of development beyond this. But they're different phases, and and we're hoping to schedule it so that we have constant development going on. We can show something new once every month. And if you're interested in any of the new kinds of things that are going to come up, I can tell you. Oh, I forgot to tell you about delayed messaging. Now, picture this. Augmented reality messaging. I'm in Paris. I'm standing on a bridge. There's the Eiffel Tower. I take a picture of it. I can leave a message on it. I can leave a message and say, hey, I'm in Paris, and these are all the different places I went to, and this is what you can go to, and here's all the links to them and everything else and how to find them, right? I can leave it on that, and I can tag it to whoever I want, my friends. And when they get to Paris, they have to be A, the right person, B, in the geolocation, and hold their phone up on the Eiffel Tower like that, and up will pop a message. And that can be 20 years later. So you could leave a message for your kids 20 years later if they ever get to Paris.
That's delayed messaging.
No, well, that's delayed augmented reality messaging. Now there's also delayed messaging, and that's just leaving a message and geotagging that message somewhere for someone. And they have to be in that location before that message will pop up. An idea.
Time for 2 questions.
Let me. This one is going to kind of morbid. So, you die. You want to leave a message to your great grandkids at your grave site. You can do that.
That's good marketing. I saw another hand up over here.
You had mentioned 2 development methods while you were talking about this. One of them being MVP, and the other being it took you 2 years to get to kind of where you're at currently. Why did you not go with the more current as opposed to the traditional method, since getting an MVP out there, you can get feedback from your customers a lot faster, and you're basing that 2 years worth of work on the assumptions of your small team. Why'd you go that route as opposed to an MVP and getting that positive or negative feedback from the customers?
Two reasons. One, just basically to be different and not to go with the flow. And the second reason is that if it's a difficult app, it will be difficult to repeat. It'll take just as much time, just as many lines of code for anybody to do it. Now, they'll actually, our competitors can do it simpler by looking at what I did. But, you know, we'll just have to see. It's a gamble. That's why.
Tina.
Hello. From a marketing standpoint, the adventure park, we schedule a lot of parties and corporate outings, events like that. Have you thought about going to places like us and saying, if you're going to have these events, let these people know that they can invite people through your app? Is this something, I'm sure you've thought about that, but have you thought about going to different places and schedule things so we can help you out?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, corporate people can use the app themselves to create events. And they can invite people. We call them semi-public events, or semi-private, or whatever you want to say. And they actually can get RSVPs, and it doesn't cost them a nickel. They can use the system without paying for it.
So having Adventure Park as featuring
Right.
occasional Riot
Now,
app would be.
right. Now, if they are multiple events and they're like, you know, the concert people or something like that, they're going to want to probably be able to post many events at one time. So you have different pricing levels. You have a free pricing level that anybody can post an event or a venue. And then you have the other pricing levels that can allow you to do a long list of things that you can't do with the basic one. For instance, posting a year in advance all your events that are coming up. And so that's what I want money for.
Okay, so let's finish with our last question for you guys. What can the 1 million Cups Virginia Beach community and nationally do for you?
Well, when you're brushing your teeth, please think of us. Just like Steve, you know, definitely, you know, like us, you know, on all the social media places. Download the app when it comes available, you know, for free. Give us your name. We'll make sure you're on that short list to be introduced to it. That kind of thing. And that's all we've got for right now. So.
There's a YouTube channel out there. We mentioned that you're making a lot of videos, so following that YouTube channel would be a good way.
Right.
Okay, well, thanks everybody. Let's give them a that is 1 million cups for this week. We'll be